Hello, everyone, and welcome to our team call tonight. And obviously, we are missing several of our people here, and they are off on their cruise in the Bahamas. And we are all having fear of missing out, right? Lots of
Yes,
COVID going
exactly.
on. Some of us, anyways,
Yes.
would love to be out there with them. Um, but I'm glad they're having fun. So we're going to start today with I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to teach you uh just gonna get a few more people coming in here. I'm going to teach you how to do some lymphatic massage. And lymphatic massage is so good for your body, and it's just something I've recently started doing for myself. And it helps to just drain your lymphatics and get them cleared out so that your immune system can function better. And so what I would love for you to do is to join me in doing this. I got this from one of the Plexus ladies. She's a diamond. Her name is Emily Gibson. And she did a reel on her Facebook with this lymphatic massage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up. And if you want to join me, you're welcome to it. I would love to have some of you join me so I'm not the only one doing it. Um, but I would love to show that to you. So what we're going to do here is, first of all, um, I'm going to take a little bit of oil. I use, what is this one? Jojoba oil. And I'm just going to put a couple of drops on my fingers and rub it onto my face. Because when you do the lymphatic massage, you don't want to rub your face too much without a whole bunch of, you want to have some oil on there so it doesn't cause too much friction. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with separating your fingers like this. And then you just go like this up around your eyes. And we're going to do it 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then again with the fingers open like this, we're going to cup our ears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to take and go like this on our collarbone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're just going to go in circles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to massage under our arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then when you're standing, we're going to go up and down right across your belly like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And on the right side, we're going to go a little bit of an angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm just going to move that down a little bit. And then we're going to go in our groin area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to do the backs of our knees. 1, just in circles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then what we have to do is we take and pat, kind of tap your face or tap all those areas. So that will be also 9. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then behind your knees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the last thing is, and this is, she says, I don't know if this is woo-woo or not, but it's just something you have to do, is you cup your hands, you clap 9 times, and then you do some cupping. Slowly keep your hands cupped. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then in your elbow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is the massage part of it. Then what I do is I take my dry brush and I just start brushing down all the way around like that, brushing, and then I brush up my arms all the way up my arms, bringing it in, both arms like that, bring it in, and even like in the back, I brush it down, and then I go from my feet all the way up my legs, brush the front and the back, both legs, bringing it up. And what you want to do is you want to bring it all to your heart. And so you brush it all towards your heart. And that is going to help to clean out your lymphatic system and just kind of spruce up your immune system, get your lymph drained. Sometimes it gets clogged, and we need to get that opened up so that things can start moving. So now I am actually going to show you how to make a brownie. It's a protein brownie that Jose from our team posted just the other day. So we're going to take and give it a whirl. So I already have, it's a banana protein brownie. I already have some bananas in my bowl here. And I'm using frozen ones because that's all I had. And so I'm just going to mash them up. And I will add my egg. And just kind of whip it up, actually. Grab this. So yeah, you just add an egg. And I already have my oven preheated so that I can get that in. Now, the recipe calls for 1/2 cup of protein powder. And it calls for a 1/4 cup of coconut flour. Now what I'm going to do, it also calls for a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. I'm finding that's a little bit too rich in the cocoa department with having a chocolate lean in there. So I'm actually going to mix that up a little bit, and I'm just going to add that same amount of more coconut flour and see what happens with that. Then also a pinch of salt. And so we'll mix that together, and it'll give a really thick batter to start with. Ooh, yeah, that's really thick. Now also there's an option to add a little bit of maple syrup, and I'm going to do that, and I'm just gonna kind of pour because I like just pouring. Then you start by adding about a 1/3 cup of milk. And you know, as you're mixing, it's going to turn into a nice runny batter. So I'll just start with a little bit just to, because I don't want it to get too terribly runny.
Here it says measuring with your heart.
Yes.
Yes, I do that all
For
the
those
time
of you
too.
who are German, von ungefähr, right?
Yeah. Yes, we were just talking about that. I don't know, while Melinda's mixing there, I don't know if any of you saw Marge's story the other day. She was talking in German. I thought that was cute. Oh, yeah. For those of us that understand.
Now, if you want to make this like a real treat, you could probably add some chocolate chips if you want to. Um, it definitely has a little bit of a different consistency than when I just had the cocoa powder in it earlier, but it's definitely a lot lighter, and I think it will be enjoyed a little bit more than that really, really dark chocolate one. And I also have my pan is already sprayed with stuff. And then I'm just gonna, it's actually pretty thick. And I like a brownie that's a little bit underbaked. I don't like them when they're too dry. And so it called for 20 to 25 minutes. I did the first one for 20 minutes and I found that was too much. So I'm actually going to do this one for a little bit less and see if that's better. I'm going to throw it in. Okay, I got that in for 15 minutes and voila, the brownies. So they look really tasty and we can post the recipe. Or if you know, if you're friends with Jose, she's got it on her
Yes.
Facebook. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was a little bit of the compensation plan. In the last few weeks, Marge and Sheila have been going over the compensation plan and asking some questions and stuff to see what we all know about the compensation plan, or even getting us to find the answers to some of the questions that they have. And how many of you know, I'm just going to open up the chat here. How many of you know what percentage are commissions that are paid out? What's the percentage of our commissions that we get? Just throw it into the chat if you know. Does anybody know? Oops, where are we?
Somebody put something in there. I just need to look
No,
here.
it's actually 15% on anything under 400 PV, personal volume. Okay, so when you have your PV points, you will get 15% commissions on that. Anything over uh, anything over 500 is 25% commissions. Big difference. So it is actually very, very wise if you are close to 500 PV in your back office on your account, or if you see a customer or a VIP that has close to 500 PV, to encourage them to bump up their order to be at 500 PV, because the amount of more commissions that they are going to make, or that you will make at 25% is a huge difference. That small amount of your order that you're going to add to your products that you're going to add to your order would be covered at plus more, right? And so it's just, that is the difference. Whoops, we've got a couple more waiting. So that is the difference. Like if you were to take, I don't know, maybe somebody can, if you have a calculator handy, if you've got, let's say you've got 300 PV in your back office and I know that they generally give us about $2.80 per point. And so if we were to calculate let's see. If we have 300 points in our back office and we multiply that by $2.80, okay, let me see. How does that work? Oh, goodness. I'm trying to see, the commission that we get on that is 15%, right? Whatever that would be. And then if we were to bump it up to 500 PV in our back office, we would get an additional 10% on that, right? So it's just something to really be mindful of when you have each month when you're placing your order, or if you're looking through your downline or your customers, your VIPs, to just double check to see where their PVs are so that they can make that decision if they want to up their order to get that extra commissioning. So Colleen, you want to talk to us about our cortisol.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. And those of you that are from Ontario, good on you for being here, because I have to admit I had to have a nap before I came on because I am so tired. It's what time is it here? It is 10 to 10, and my bedtime is like 8:45, 9 o'clock. So anyways, thank you all for coming. Yes, there's a lot of talk about cortisol out there, and I did a lot of research because I feel like there's just so many misconceptions out there. And I think that cortisol is one of the most misunderstood hormones, and it is actually nicknamed the stress hormone. But this hormone does way more than that. In fact, cortisol is the most important hormone in the body because it touches literally every other system in the body. It helps control blood sugar levels, regulates your metabolism and blood pressure, and it affects your sleep quality. It even impacts your sex life, assists with memory making, and even aids in fetal health during pregnancy. So yeah, it's very important. Like I said before, it's the most misunderstood hormone. It's only bad when it gets out of control. God created us to have cortisol. So when we get up in the morning, our cortisol should be at a all-time high. That's when it's high. That's what gets us out of bed and gives us the energy to get going on our day and doing our things. And as we go through the day, cortisol should start to decrease until we go to bed. But then there's always things that upset it, right? And so most of it is stress. Stress is one of the main culprits that upset your cortisol levels. Cortisol raises naturally when you exercise, you have a fright, or you're worried about something. There is nothing wrong with raised cortisol for a short period of time, as it raises your blood sugar to give you energy to push through. But if your adrenal glands, which make cortisol, like your adrenal glands, which are just right above your kidneys, right on top of your kidneys, were to be removed from your body, you would be dead within 24 hours. Did you realize that? Like, that's how important our adrenal glands are. And they're the ones that make cortisol. So your cortisol levels are leveled by your, I don't know if I can say this word right, pituitary glands, which are located in your brain. They use their spidey senses to tell us if your blood has the right amount of cortisol, too much or too little cortisol in the body. And the pituitary glands tell tell the adrenal glands to adjust. So when does cortisol become a problem? To understand how, why, and when cortisol can become a problem, first think about how different our life stresses are as compared to hundreds of years ago. Um, like God didn't create us to be stressed all the time. Um, and then flash forward to the 21st century, and we may not be facing the stress of lions, tigers, and bears, and experimenting other stressors that they did way back in the day, but ours are just phenomenal compared to back in the day, right? Um, High cortisol takes the fatty acids. Oh, this is an interesting fact that I read, that high cortisol takes the fatty acids that are stored in our fat cells and it moves them to the abdominal cavity, moves us right to the gut. And so that it will protect all our organs. But with chronic elevation, it turns into visceral fat. And I don't know if any of you've heard about visceral fat, but this is the fat we do not want. This deep fat lines our organs and our inner abdominal cavity. Visceral fat is inflammatory and very, very dangerous. So elevated cortisol also elevates the hunger hormone in the brain. And we don't want that either because we're hungry all the time. And it just influences the brain to crave fatty, salty foods. I don't know about you, but I've experienced that. It's a vicious cycle. And as I said earlier, high cortisol raises blood sugar to deal with the stress. Cortisol is on a seesaw relationship with insulin. Insulin. Cortisol breaks things down and insulin builds things up. So what can you do to regulate your cortisol levels and insulin levels? Okay, first of all, I mean, I was talking to Melinda about this, but I reflect a lot on what the Bible says. I know that this was not anything that I read online, but the Bible says that we are not like Philippians 4, 6, and 7. Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. God didn't create us to carry all this stuff. And then Psalm 55:2 says, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you, and he will never let the righteous be shaken. And then, of course, Matthew 6:34. I mean, there's tons of verses. I looked up, there were tons, but I didn't want to, just for sake of time, I didn't want to share them all here. But Matthew 6:34, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. So you get the idea. He never intended us to carry our own burdens. And like he says in his word, his yoke is easy. So then there's practical things you can do to help control your stress. And I'm preaching to the choir here because I struggle with these things as well. This is one thing that I do regularly. This one I've gotten down pat. Go to bed early and rise early. Try to get a good night's rest. I know some of us struggle with that. But there are ways of being able to relax and be able to get a good night's rest. So, and organize your time better. This is where I fail. I don't do that well. So then when something happens that's really, really stressful, don't rant and rave and gossip about it. Go to God in prayer first. And then a trusted friend who will give you sound advice. Does complaining get us anywhere? We know that it doesn't. Then as the day winds down, be cognizant about being around screens and phones before bed. I think we've talked about this before in team calls. And then, and of course, I wouldn't be myself, those of you that know me, if I didn't say this, get some exercise. You may think that it raises cortisol, so why exercise? But the benefits are amazing. Um, it lowers risk of diseases, promotes muscle growth and retention, especially as we age. It helps you avoid osteoporosis, improves cognitive function, memory, and concentration, and it prevents age-related diseases, and it lowers the risk and severity of depression, anxiety, and stress. Stress, the very thing that we're trying to fight, right? Get outside. That's another thing. Get outside. It is so important. And we've talked about this before. Vitamin D is absorbed through your eyes, and it really helps you lower your stress levels. Some supplements that balance cortisol and insulin. I mean, we have a few with Plexus, definitely. As we all know, the pink drink balances our insulin levels. And something called, I don't know if I'm saying this right, L-theanine, which is an amino acid. It can be found in green tea. So um, green tea is really good to drink during the day. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it at night because it has caffeine. And also, our Metaburn and Edge have L-theanine in it. Vital Biome has also been clinically studied to support mood, which reduces feelings of stress, nervousness, and tension. And then also very good to take magnesium, which BioCleanse is great for that. But then there's other sources of magnesium as well, besides BioCleanse. Then replenish your stress-specific vitamins like ashwagandha. I don't know if I said that right. Vitamin D and B vitamins. So if you are concerned about your cortisol levels, definitely ask your doctor to check your levels at different times of the day because it should be high in the morning and then it should be decreasing as the day goes on. So I want just quickly here, we're almost done this call, but just to finish here, I'm gonna give you a little quiz of everything that I talked about. We'll see
Actually,
if
Colleen, can I just
what?
interject one tiny thing?
Sure. Yeah.
I was at my naturopathic doctor for an appointment just a few weeks ago, and he asked me what my level of stress was. And then and I'm sure he was thinking about my cortisol and all that kind of stuff. But one other thing he said was, or your perception of stress. So it's not just what is stressful, but what do we perceive as being stressful? So if we perceive something as being stressful, our minds are going to we're going to think that it's stressful. Our bodies are going to react in that way, even if we think it's stressful, even if it's not actually a stressful situation. So if it's not, we can train our minds to think that, to ease up on some of those thoughts of what we feel is stressful. So we can create a new pathway in our brain that is going to help us decrease the amount of stress that our bodies are undergoing, just because we're going to retrain our minds as to what we actually feel is stressful. So it's not just what is stressful, but what we perceive as being stressful. Sorry, go ahead, Colleen.
No, that's great. I'm glad you made that point because like we may feel like we're stressed, but yeah, you do need to choose your thoughts, choose
Yeah.
what you're thinking about,
And
right?
it kind of gave
And
me an aha moment of like, wow, yeah, I bet you I perceive
yeah,
a lot more as being stressful than what really is.
because how many of us go on that hamster wheel? At least me, I do. And then I just go, yeah, I go in a spiral downwards, right? But anyways, I'm going to ask you some quick questions and then we're going to be done with our call tonight. But I just want to see how much of you caught what I was, put your answers in the chat and we'll see who gets the right answers. Or no, should we do it in the chat, Melinda, or should we just call it out?
We can call it out.
Yeah, call it out, whoever's,
Unmute yourself and we
yeah,
can call out
exactly.
the answers.
Okay. So what is cortisol? commonly referred to as? Which hormone? Come on, you guys.
Stress hormone.
Yay! Okay. Where is cortisol produced in the body? Right above the kidneys. Where is it?
Adrenal glands.
Great. Wonderful. What is the main function of cortisol in the body? What does the pink drink do?
Balance hormones.
No, that
Oh,
but blood sugar,
the
insulin
blood
levels.
sugar. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Cortisol is released in response to what? Come on, you guys, you know it. We talked about it.
Stress or our perception of stress.
Stress. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Um, which of the, oh, let's see. I'm not going to ask all of them. Okay, what time of day are cortisol levels typically highest?
Morning.
Good, good. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to read out 4 things. Which of these can decrease cortisol levels naturally? Tell me which one. Chronic stress, regular exercise, poor diet, or sleep dep dep I can't even say the word.
Regular
Deprivation.
exercise.
There you go. I can't say it.
Deprivation. Regular
Deprivation.
exercise.
Great, Valerie. Wonderful. Okay, let's see. I didn't read that one. So which of these is a symptom of low? Oh, I didn't talk about low, so I won't say that. Cortisol secretion can be influenced by which of the following factors? I'm going to read it. Nutrition, sleep patterns, exercise, all of the above.
All of the above.
Great. Great. So how can chronic stress affect cortisol levels in the long run? I'll read it out. It leads to a temporary drop in cortisol. It has no impact on cortisol levels. It can lead to consistently high cortisol levels, or it causes an increase in serotonin levels only. Do you remember the one? Do you know which one it is?
Sorry, say that again.
Okay, yeah, there were 4 of them. I'll just say it. It can lead to consistently high cortisol levels. How can chronic stress affect cortisol levels in the long run? That was the question. And the answer is it can lead to consistently high cortisol levels. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
Yes, thank you so much. We enjoyed having this time together. Hopefully you learned something, and we will post a recording in the team page. Have a good night, everyone.
See you.